back. Napoleon's henchmen had accused me of being a spy and a traitor, which was why I'd been marched with the other prisoners to the beach. And yes, circumstance had given a grain of truth to that characterization, but I hadn't set out with that intent by any means. I'd simply been an American in Paris whose tentative knowledge of electricity and the need to escape an utterly unjust accusation of murder resulted in my being included in the company of Napoleon's scientists, or savants, during his dazzling conquest of Egypt the year before. I'd also developed a knack for being on the wrong side at the wrong time. I'd taken fire from Mameluke cavalry, the woman I loved, Arab cutthroats, British broadsides, Muslim fanatics, French platoons, and I'm a likable man. My latest French nemesis was a nasty scoundrel named Pierre Najac, an assassin and thief who couldn't get over the fact that I'd once shot him from beneath the Toulon stage when he tried to rob me of a sacred medallion. It's a long story, as an earlier volume will attest. Najac had come back into my life like a bad debt and had kept me marching in the prisoner rank with a cavalry saber at my back. He was anticipating my imminent demise with the same feeling of triumph and loathing that one has when crushing a particularly obnoxious spider. I was regretting that I hadn't aimed a shave higher and 2 inches to the left. As I've remarked before, it all seems to start with gambling. Back in Paris, it had been a card game that won me the mysterious medallion and started the trouble. This time, what had seemed a simple way to get a new start, taking the bewildered seamen of HMS Dangerous for every shilling they had before the British put me ashore in the Holy Land, had solved nothing, and, it could be argued, had actually led to my present predicament. Let me repeat, gambling is a vice, and it's foolish to rely on chance. Aim! But I'm getting ahead of myself. I, Ethan Gage, have spent most of my 34 years trying to keep out of too much trouble and away from too much work. As my mentor and one-time employer, the late great Benjamin Franklin, would no doubt observe, these two ambitions are as at odds as positive and negative electricity. The pursuit of the latter, no work, is almost sure to defeat the former, no trouble. But that's a lesson like the headache that follows alcohol or the treachery of beautiful women, forgotten as many times as learned. It was my dislike of hard labor that reinforced my fondness for gambling that got me the medallion that got me to Egypt with half the planet's villains at my heels, and Egypt that got me my lovely lost Astiza. She, in turn, had convinced me that we had to save the world from Najac's master, the French-Italian count and sorcerer Alessandro Silano. All this, without my quite expecting it to, put me on the wrong side of Bonaparte. In the course of things, I fell in love, found a secret way into the Great Pyramid, and made the damnedest discovery ever, only to lose everything I held dear when forced to escape by balloon. I told you it was a long story. Anyway, the gorgeous and maddening Astiza, my would-be assassin, then servant, then priestess of Egypt, had fallen from the balloon into the Nile, along with my enemy, Silano. I've been desperately trying to learn their fate ever since, my anxiety redoubled by the fact that my enemy's last words to Astiza were, "You know, I still love you." How's that for prying at the corners of your mind at night? Just what was their relationship? Which is why I'd agreed to allow the English madman Sir Sidney Smith to put me ashore in Palestine just ahead of Bonaparte's invading army, to make inquiries. Then one thing led to another, and here I stood, facing 1,000 gun muzzles. Fire! But before I tell you what happened when the muskets blazed, perhaps I should go back to where my earlier tale left off, in late October of 1798, when I was trapped on the deck of the British frigate Dangerous, making for the Holy Land, with her sails bellied and a bone in her teeth cutting the frothy deep. How hardy it all was, English banners flapping, burly seamen pulling at their stout